Hello my weebs and my weebettes, and welcome back to the s.a.d channel, One Piece D&D. You know it, you love it, and in the last episode, William and Verona fused together to make Virilium. So how will that work? You see, I did a little thing called homebrew it. I just got bored one night, homebrewed how Virilium would work, and I was like, oh wait, I have a YouTube channel. Should probably post on it. So I made this, and now I'm going to talk about how Virilium should work. Why? Because I'm bored. Anyways, let's get into it. First, their abilities. So, Virilium would technically be a fighter rogue artifactor. But, to be fair, we should not take away any abilities Verona William have. So, what I just decided to do was take all their abilities and just shove it into one. Do I know every ability they have? No. So, it's just going to be every ability as a fighter Verona has, and an artifactor, and a rogue William has, and plus some of his fighting, but Verona also has that. You know what I mean. Put them together, and you get Virilium's power set. So he would be a swashbuckler rogue, and I think he's a ranged fighter, because Verona uses a gun. So that's how I would do it. Just put them together, and make a very strong man. Next is their size. You would say, oh, they'll just say a medium monster. For those who don't know, a medium monster is one that stays in a 5-foot square. No. For Virilium, I would consider a large monster. Why? Well, if you think about it, in the actual One Piece show, you know, the actual real One Piece, the one this whole campaign's inspired by, there is an actual fusion fruit. So, how that works in the anime is, they fuse together, I think it's a set of quadruplets, and the two sets of quadruplets that fuse together to like a giant kaiju monster. That's just how it works. So how I would say, because it's only two, they would fuse together and go from a medium monster to a large monster. And if somehow, for some reason, every one of the Devil's Look pirates fuse together, I would consider it a gargantuan monster, but I highly doubt that would happen. I hope not. Anyways, that's how I would play it. Just have them go from a medium to large. It's nothing really big about it, but that's just a little quality of life thing for them. They would become bigger, and now even buffer, because their HP would go up. Technically, it would only be Verona's HP that would go up by 2, because Verona has a HP of 118, and William only has an HP of 102, and not to give him 200 HP, which would make sense, but that's a little broken, in my opinion. So I would only give them around 120, averaging out both of their HPs together. That's how I would do it. Again, Rustage is DM. He could probably choose anything else. He can probably give them 200. And then you have to take in fact, they took damage, I think, in this fight. So you have to subtract all that. So it could be a lot complicated than just giving them a set HP. Talking about that, their DC. 17. That was easy. All I had to do was average out what their AC and DC would be, and just kind of whoever had the highest one I would replace. Armor class, though, I didn't just choose who had the higher armor class. For armor class, I did the same thing I did for the HP. I averaged it out. So 18, I think the higher one was Verona's, who was 18, but I added one on that to 19 just to make them a little bit more fair. I would even argue it should be up to 20, because this is a fusion of two people, so it's a fusion of their armor too. So I could argue that this would be a 20 armor class, and maybe even a 21 to 22 armor class. But that's how I would play it, so yeah. Now it's time for their scores, like strength, intelligence, dexterity, constitution, and wisdom, and charisma. This was the easiest process out of all of them. I didn't average out, I just went through who had the highest and replaced it. So in strength was 16, intelligence is a 14, dexterity is a 20, so they're a very dexterity person. Constitution is a 16, wisdom is a 17, and charisma is a 17. So they're pretty good stats, no negatives, surprisingly. This is like a very good set. None of them are really, actually they have plus in everything, and it's actually a really good set. I would actually, if that was a fighter, I would take those, but maybe replace dexterity and strength. This is going on to tangents. Anyways, next is their devil fruit. You see, this is a weird case, because William and Verona both have devil fruits. the animate fruit and the roulette fruit. And I remember in the post chat after the game in the live stream, you don't get that if you watch the show, if you watch it on YouTube or the podcast. But there was a comment comment saying how the devil fruit should work is they touch an item. Oh, R.I.P. Brooke. They touch an item, the item gains sentience, and then it rolls a devil fruit. Which in theory would be broken, and yes it is. But also that's how it would work. That would be the obvious fusion of the devil fruits. But also they would still have a limited amount, because yes, they have 6 a day, but William already used like 3 of them. Or actually 4. He used like 4, so he only has like 2 left. And Verona, I don't know how much Verona has, so I would just add those up together to get how much they would have left for how the fruit would work. That's how I would play, have the fruit, do all of that. Next is their weapon. How Rustage described their weapon was a gun sword. It was a rifle, because Verona holds a rifle, and the 8 blade. The 8 of spades, I think it's called. William's blade, put into one. So how I would do that is, you could either use it as a ranged weapon, so if you're like further away from a strong enemy, you can shoot. And you can, because William has Rokushiki techniques, flash step up, swing, and go back, and shoot again. Because Verona's a fighter, so he has multiple actions. He has 2, I think, as of level 10. So he could either go up, swing, like cut into Ragnar, and go back and shoot. Get sneak attack on one of them, because sneak attack only works on the first attack. Doesn't matter. And he wouldn't get an attack of opportunity, because William is a swashbuckler rogue. And swashbucklers have fancy footwork that makes them no longer take opportunity attacks if they move away. Because swashbucklers are cool. I use a swashbuckler in a campaign. Really cool. I love them. But yeah, that's how I would do their attacks and that. And now their initiative. Originally, I was going to say their initiative would be the same as Virilium, as Williams, or whoever had the higher initiative. But I remember I was scrolling through the One Piece D&D Reddit, and I saw this whole theory about how it would work. And one thing I actually really liked about it was 2 separate options. So Virilium would take William and Verona's. So it wouldn't just be like, oh, you 2 have to share a turn. No, let William have his turn and Verona have his turn. Have Spooky and Tekking switch out on who gets to control Virilium, which I think is the fairest. It would be a little broken because Virilium would have that would make him have 4 attacks in 1 action, plus action surge, which he could optionally do, so that would add another 2. So that's 6 attacks in 1 turn. But that's only a one-time thing with action surge and all that. But that's basically it. That's how I think Virilium would play. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll try to get back on a normal upload schedule. That's probably not going to happen. But that's really been it, my weebs and weebettes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, go check out my Twitter, actually. I had posted a sneak peek of this video. I posted the thumbnail of this video before the video came out. And if you want some news about videos, you can see it on my Twitter. So go follow me there. Like and subscribe. Don't forget outro.